episode we're going to be speaking about books.
Someone said it, yeah, and it's like, if you want to hide knowledge from a black man, put it in a book, because they don't read it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, read books, man. Knowledge is power.
It's about finding your book. What do you want to do and then find a book that aligns with that stuff?
Yeah, books are actually a cheat code, fam. Like the price, the value you get from a book now, yeah, for the price of it is insane, fam. Like I can literally buy a book here about Nike, about how Nike became a £0 company to a multi-billion pound company for about even less, bro. You know how, and you're not reading that.
Welcome back to another episode of the Energizer Podcast, a podcast that leaves you charged up
all the way.
Today we're here with your boy Tay
and Ty,
and we got a special guest in the building. Introduce yourself.
I'm back again, my people.
Back again.
Yeah, my name's Austin Okolo. I'm a award-winning business owner. I run a fashion brand, events company, and my own book club in it. So you can find me on Austin Okolo on all platforms, and
the links will be there, my bro.
I say that, man.
Enough gems, tap in with this guy, bro. Trust me.
So, bro, tell them about yourself, man. Obviously, you said that you've got a clothing brand, book club as well. Like, tell them a bit about it.
Yeah, so I started a fashion brand when I was about 18 years old in it, just a bit of fun in it, and I actually found that I actually love entrepreneurship in it. I fell in love with entrepreneurship, just like the hustle, the grind of it, the creativity, and the people I met in it. And then I literally just progressed it year on year from there in it. Like my man here, I've got featured GQ magazine last year, which was a big moment for me. You know, sold all across the world, from like Hungary, countries I've even been to, Hungary, America.
That feeling's crazy,
it's
when
crazy,
you see yourself in that magazine.
Yeah.
It was mad.
But even like, I know you can relate as well to getting clothing in other countries as well. And it's like, wow, like how do these men even know about my thing, bro? Like, I'm saying.
So, was that thing where they reached out to you as well, innit?
Yeah. That when I got an email, I was like,
and that's how you know you're doing your thing. It's like you didn't reach out to GQ directly; they came to you, so they recognised your brand's doing things.
Because one thing with them, they don't post, because these brands here, they got a reputation here. They don't just put anything in it. They actually wanna have brands here that align with what they stand for as well, innit? So that's something that anybody should always be proud of, innit? And also so you know, sort of all across the world now, we've got new tracks coming out soon, which I'm wearing in it, and I'm enjoying that. I run an events company with Internet Sensation, Poku Banks, and a boy called Denzel Jones. In the property industry. We do network events every month for like-minded people. We've done sell-out events in London. We're doing one in Birmingham next month, Nottingham, Loughborough, Brighton.
Big, strong.
Yeah, man.
Big.
So like hundreds of people down to come to these events and that. So like, bro, these events, life-changing events, networking, special guests. Then finally, which is what today's podcast is about. It's a book club in it. So it's just a community where I help people get into reading. We read a book together every single month. I handpick a life-changing book for you. We read it together every month, and then we come together on a Zoom call in the month to discuss book as well, innit? So people in there are enjoying it, and what's lovely is that people who said they've never read a book before come on there, like Mandem like us, bro, like never read a book before, coming on there, and now they read it every day, innit? So it's nice to see people seeing the value in books like I have, innit?
Strong. So even just going deeper before we get back to the book, because that's what we're going to be talking about in today's episode. Like, I feel like one thing I must say, which I admire about you, man, like you're really doing your thing, is that across the board of every single hustle venture that you do, impact. That's the main thing that stands out to me. Clothing brand with both of you, impact. You know what I mean? Gen Z club, helping people, putting people in a position to network, and you never know what can come on the back of that. Impact. You know what I mean? You was the one who told me the first time we met your 7 conversations from meeting away from
7 person rule, innit?
7-person rule. So you're 7 people away from meeting anyone in the world, you know what I mean? Or even with your book club, you're putting people on games so that they can start their venture into reading and growing their mind. Impact. So strong, man, for real.
100, that's big. And do you know what's mad? Like, we had this conversation the other day. You don't really see the impact that you're having. You can't see it through the numbers. Do you get me? Like, you can't see the impact that your videos are doing or your book club's doing, because there's conversations happening in their own rooms where it's like, right, this thing's really helping me. Do you get me? So big you up, man, for real.
Yeah, cool. I know we're gonna get the books here, but I just want to say these 2 things. So I want to say the last podcast, innit? The first one is it's an impact in it, and you don't always see it. It's like, you know, when you got a seed in the ground now, and the seed is growing in the ground before it actually spurts it into the actual what you can see in it. So just know, like, when you're putting as content now, and you're getting views, whatever, and the likes, you're helping people. These are real people you're helping there. Although like now you can't see the progression now, or you can't see the growth, like the seed is doing this thing in that ground, innit? And there's only a matter of time before it actually comes into fruition, innit? So just keep pushing. Also, man, the other thing is that it's the keys and habits, innit? So like even the books now, like one thing I read in a book called The Power of Habit, innit? One of my favourite books now is a thing called keystone habits, innit? So these are habits that set the tone for other habits to flourish, innit? So for example, having a good morning routine, set the tone for, so because I've got morning routine now, which involves journaling and reading, my habit now is reading, innit? Kind of thing. So like when you get a habit of reading books now, your habit now will be to be more open-minded, or be to I don't know, read things more thoroughly. So
or seek more knowledge.
Of course, innit. So what people understand is one habit leads to another habit, innit. So even for example, I got a group chat innit, where every single morning we wake up early, innit. So we got to hold each other accountable to wake up early, innit. So at 7:30 a.m. you gotta say good morning to prove that you're up at that time, innit. And that and through that group now, we've got a habit now, of like in that group now we give each other ideas, innit. You know what I'm saying, or like that can't believe group chat now, which makes me wake up early, which is a habit now, allows you to have a morning routine. If I wake up at 11 p.m. or 11 a.m. sorry, I can't have a morning routine. So understand that the habits you set, they also lead into other habits later down the line, innit.
It's like a catalyst.
Of course.
Strong.
The first thing I want to touch in there is your group. So we have something similar. That's why I take
the
Mastermind Network. So just to tap in, similar to yours, like we did kind of implement the morning routine, but it didn't really work for us as of now.
I can't lie, I think we need to bring it back. We'll have the conversation.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have the conversation internally to bring it back. But what we do, and I feel like this is something practically that you guys watching should do as well. Like we said last episode, so look into your circle of influence now. Now you found those positive members and you've networked, etc. Build them into like some form of an alliance or group, such as ours. Ours is called the Mastermind Network, where it's a group of people, like-minded individuals who hold each other accountable for goals. So I'll have my weekly goals, Tay can see. So Tay will know that on Sunday evening, Ty set his goal, and Ty's goal could be post X amount of videos on the podcast or get this done in my 9 to 5, etc. So now when it comes to the end of the week, Sunday, Tay's like, bruv, you said he's gonna do A, B, and C goal, but you haven't done it. Why not? He's holding me accountable. Do you know what I mean? And it's good to have a sort of alliance or group of like-minded individuals who you can brainstorm ideas with, etc., to build the foundation of your success. Because
at the end of the day, sorry, bro. At the end of the day, there's only so much accountability you can hold on yourself. So having someone else there, like a friend or even a family member that can hold you accountable to make sure you do what you said you're gonna do, like it takes you a long way. Of course, So I feel like everyone should do that still. Like find your group. But this episode we're going to be speaking about books. Obviously we're both avid book readers. We're all avid book readers. You get me? You've got your own book club, So I've got a question for you guys, because this was me growing up. I hated books, like reading something new to me. Do you understand what I mean? So why do you feel like a lot of people have that stigma?
I'm jumping in. So I'm very passionate about this because just like Tay, I'm someone who's kind of seen the light when it comes to books. You know what I mean? And I feel like I want to push the narrative, especially I'm talking to all the young black kings out here watching. I want to help and inspire. Read books, my bro. Like I'm sure there was a quote somewhere, someone said it, and it's like, if you want to hide knowledge from a black man, put it in a book, because they don't read it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like read books, man. Knowledge is power. And second, doubling back on what you said to answer your question, I feel like the reason why as kids growing into young adults, then furthering into full adults, why we don't like to read is because when growing up, there's so many negative connotations that are associated with books. And what I mean by that is, like, when you're young, let's say we're all in year 6 in this example, it's a hot day, you just come home, you got into a fight at school, you know mum's gonna give you some beats, you're in trouble now, so now you've come home, you're not gonna go onto the PlayStation because mum's not having that, so she says, nah, give me the controller, you've been in trouble, go read a book. Or a week later now, you got into an argument with your sibling, your mum's come to your dad, you know, you've been rude, give me this, go read a book. So as we've grown up now, even in school, in classes, you're being forced to read books against your will. So now you're subconsciously associating negative connotations, negativity towards reading books. You're seeing books as a punishment. So now fast forward 5 years, like Tay and I were 2-3 years ago, because we've just recently changed. Less than that. 6 months ago plus. 6 months ago plus. Now as we're going into adolescence, aka young adults, into the industry, etc., doing what we're doing, we don't want to read books because we still see books as a punishment in our subconscious mind. So change that, reprogram your mind.
That's the one thing you mentioned there, which I don't think before, is the punishment side of things, isn't it? Where it's like, you lot are, they're putting the good with the bad. They're trying to say, like, if you do that, you'll get this kind of thing, as if like this isn't more valuable than that, or it can't be more valuable than that. Trying to say that the game is more fun than the book, where that's not right. I think they're putting it in the context of, like, I'll be real, I'd rather, there's some books that you probably read and you can't stop reading it. And we got that kind of conversation now of like, books can be just enjoyable as going here or going there or going out or watching some TV, because books can actually be enjoyable, innit? And I feel like I want to touch on my story, innit, because I feel like I agree to you massively, innit? And I want to show, like, I thought people will see me, I got a book club, like, fam, I had my first book at 19, innit? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm from London, like, you man are, like, bro, let's be real, reading ain't cool, bro. Like, I'm saying, I don't read, like, because it's cool, like, let's be real, like, it's becoming more cool now, but it's not cool, innit? So, like, bro, I had my first book at 19 years old, I'm dyslexic, bro. Like, I'm saying, like, even for me, it's even long, fam. So when we're saying these things about books, like, now, it's not a thing we're doing it because, like, because it's cool to do it, or like because it's trendy, because it's not. We're doing it because we see the value in these books, innit? People understand it, innit? And I agree, bro. Like the reason why I took me so long to read a book now, because I have saw books as flipping like dead, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? I saw them as, like in school, I read the same book from year 7 all to year 11, innit? Like you got to bring a book in, flipping, before school starts, you got to read. You're forced to, as you said, you're forced to read for 15 minutes now, Like, bro, I'm just reading for the sake of reading. I don't even know why I'm reading it, bro. Like, I'm thinking it's dead. And quickly, just final thing is the thing of like, self-awareness in schools are so bad, bro. They don't look at you and think, okay, cool, you're a bit disrupted in class now, but maybe that's because, what we teach you is in line with your interest in it. They kind of tell you what to kind of learn in school, innit? They don't, in school, there's no self-awareness, bro. There's none of that stuff, where like, okay, cool. Like, they measure each other, all of us here for exams, innit? They put us in all the same bucket, you got to do exam, but some men are shoot to got all kinds of learning, some men are shoot to this kind of learning. So, like, it's a thing of like,
everyone's cut from a different cloth.
Of course, innit? So self-awareness in schools are so bad, bro, to the point where they tell you to just read, bro. But I can tell you, okay, cool, you like football, go read a footballer coach's book, or you like dancing, go read this person's book, or you want to start business, go read Shoe Dog by Nike and of Nike. There's none of that in school. They say you to read, bro. So you got to make the self-awareness of reading now, with what you actually want to enjoy reading. And when you get that balance now, it's good. Like, I'll be real, I'm not going to read flipping, I don't like reading like fantasy books or whatever. That's not me. I think it's dead, But like now I read books that actually align with my interest in it, which is why I enjoy it, bro. So it's about finding books that align with your interests.
Strong. So what my thing was, when I was in school, obviously you're reading certain books of mice and men. These type of books is like
Jekyll and Hyde. Inspectacles.
These books, like, what has that got to do with my life? That's what my problem was, because before, as of recent, I didn't know there was books out there that could actually help me with what I want to do in life. Do you get me? I'm just seeing these books of mice and men. It's a fake story. Like, what's this all about? Like, all of these books here, it's like, it has no real impact on my day-to-day life. So that's why I weren't taken into it. But when what's the first book I read? I think it was Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I got that through Koza. Shout out Koza,
Shout out Koza, man.
When I read the book, it's like, there's really books out here that can help me with what I'm trying to do in my life. And then when I found those books, it's like, all right, cool. Now I want to read now. Do you get me? Before it was like a chore in school. I'm reading books that I don't want to read. I don't have relation to. Do you get me? So it's about finding your book. What do you want to do, and then find a book that aligns with that stuff.
I want us to take it in, like, look at who we are reading these books, innit? Like, I feel like people look at people that read books, as if like, like the middle class white men or people from certain areas. Look, we're Mandem like you lot are, and we all reading it. I feel like, so like seeing relatable people, that look like them, who are reading now, and we're saying, look, like, we're enjoying it, fam. Like, we're not doing it, we're actually enjoying it, Give yourself a chance to actually see if you can enjoy it as well, innit?
Facts. Do you know what it is? Just jumping in there, I'm gonna say something very controversial. I don't read books. I study them. I was waiting for the pause. You should have paused a bit longer still. I don't read books, I study them. And what I mean by that is, something I've learned about books is that although you should change the connotations and your approach to books based off of your school education knowledge, something you should carry doing from school, being in education, is that in school you get taught to study books, not read books. And what I mean by that is, when we had to do research on Jekyll and Hyde, even though it was a bullshit book, you can't take much tangible information from it. You had to study that. Why did this guy do this in chapter 12? Do you know what I mean? So do that when you're reading. So one thing I do is, like, I have again, shout out Kozart, Defo coming on soon. He put me onto a wealth book. So what that is, it's like a folder that I have in my house, in my room, different pages for different things. So I have a folder for reading. So like Gary V, this book I'm reading right now, Crushing It by Gary V, I have a folder and it literally says Gary V Crushing It. So every time I'm reading, aka studying this book, I'm not even highlighting, I'm looking at certain chapters and being like, Rod, this is some tangible piece of information, let me write this down, then let me do another diagram and give me an example of how what he says applies to my everyday life now. So I'm literally breaking down and deciphering what he's saying and studying that. Do you know what I'm trying to say? That's what everyone should do. Don't just read and flip pages and be like, this line's done, this line's done, next page. No, this line's done, but he said this, how does this relate to me now? Or give me an example of that. Do you know what I mean? To help deepen your understanding of what you just learned. Do you know what I mean?
What I'd say is, don't be a productive procrastinator. Do you get me? A lot of people, they're so productive, they're reading tens of thousands of books, like books, but really and truly, how much of this information are you absorbing? Do you get what I mean? Like, as you said, you hit the nail on the head. Like, study these books. Don't move past this book until you understand each page of this book, or each page that relates to you. Do you understand what I mean? I feel like people use these books as like trophies. Yeah, I've read Rich Dad Poor Dad, The Way of a Superior Man, this book,
accolades.
So you get accolades when really and truly you're meant to study that book until you understand it deeply.
I want to say 2 things in it, and I'm gonna say this to you now, yeah. Cause I want to get reminded, come out forgetting it. First one is I want to go to a point about ownership in it. So remind me in case I forget it. Ownership. Alright, cool. So the first thing I'm gonna say now, I want to circle back a little bit in it. I want to break down why you should actually read it, because people now, we're at level 2, we'll talk about how to read books in it. But I feel like some people watch this now, that might not even see the value of reading in it. So I want to talk about books are actually a cheat code, fam. Like the price, the value you get from a book now, for the price of it is insane, fam. Like I can literally buy a book about Nike, about how Nike became a £0 company to a multi-billion pound company for about even less, bro. You know how, and you're not reading that. That's a cheat code, bro. People who've achieved millions of pounds I've literally told you how they've done it in a book. They've broken it down to you for £5 about how they became a millionaire. Gary Vee owns the biggest marketing agency in the world. He's made a book about how he did it for what, £8. Rick Ross. You want to talk about rappers? Rick Ross, I've read his book. Rick Ross is a multi-million-dollar rapper. He wrote how he did it in a book. It's a cheat code, fam, and it's cheap as well. It's like what, for less than £10, fam, less than a Nando's, fam. So I feel like people gotta understand that you're actually doing yourself a disservice by not reading books, because the value in them, for the price, it doesn't make sense, bro. Like I can't think of generally it shouldn't be £5. I'll be real. These books I'm reading now, I'll pay £100 for them, 100%. The Secret to a Millionaire Mind book, which I know you've read,
Nah, that's taste. Anyway,
that book's a joke, bro. Like I was even thinking about.
Cause I put us onto that.
I was thinking the other day.
That book's a joke for real.
I think the other day now, bro. I can't lie, obviously I'm not where I want to be yet in life, but the thing of being wealthy, I don't think I think it's long, but the principles are in place. You know what I'm saying? It's not as hard as people think.
Make it seem,
you know what I'm saying? All you got to know is the fundamental facts of pay yourself first, invest in assets, all that kind of stuff in it. You can teach yourself how to become rich, but obviously give yourself time to get there in it. And you can become rich off investing in things like the S&P 500 now, which gives a 10% average annual return. Last year it's like plus 20% though last year. So don't think it's only 10%. Some years it does more in it, but
fluctuates.
Put I don't know, a couple £100 in that account, and you can be a millionaire in the next 20-30 years kind of thing. But that's one way of making sure that you are rich kind of thing. That's a way, the blueprint is there in these books. That's one way, but obviously I'm gonna say 24 hour, you can't get 24 hours in it. But my point I'm trying to make here is the fact that when it comes to wealth now, with wealthy people, there's a common trend in what they're doing. They invest in assets, they pay themselves first. They live within their means and invest in surplus, whatever. They focus on value rather than hours. So rather than work here and get paid for the hours you work here, they get paid for the value they you know what I'm saying? For example, you fashion brand, the more people that buy your clothing, the more you get paid in it, because it's value. The more people that see value in your clothing, the more you get paid in it. When it comes to actually building wealth now, there's fundamental laws, universal laws they're building it. It's a game, bro. Money is something that the humans have created in it. It's a game to it of how to achieve it, and you got to figure out how to achieve that game in it. There's books out there that I'm telling you how these millionaires, because I'm obviously what I'm saying now it's come from people that have actually became millionaires in it, done it. So there's people that have actually put that into a book. So the same way now, and this is where I want to go with ownership now. The same way you let school let you be taught what you want to be taught. We spoke about how schools lack self-awareness. You got to take control, bro. You allow the school to teach you about of mice and men. You allow that, but when you allow yourself to learn what you want to learn about being rich or about being what you want to learn emotionally, fam, you got to get that ownership now.
Clip my blood,
people think that you finish studying once you finish school. Really, that's when the real studying is meant to begin. You know what I mean? And
it's something that you belong to have, because the whole time you're complaining about, I hate school. Cool, you're out of school now. What are you doing now to learn the things that you want to learn in school? When you go learn about taxes, when you go learn about being emotional, even forget money, bro, even being emotionally aware, bro, tapping into your emotions, being accountable. When you go learn about how to build relationships with your friends, with your family, with your loved ones, bro, when you go learn that stuff, bro, when you go learn those things that you want to actually learn, because no one's stopping you, bro. The school, you can put the excuse in the school now, but you're grown now, bro. You're out of school now. When you go take the accountability now, to actually learn these things yourself, learn about wealth, learn about relationships, learn about emotions, learn about all this stuff, bro.
Strong. Boy, just strong. Even the point you said about everything you said was facts first and foremost, but even what you said at the end about studying books about emotion and stuff like that, especially as men, we don't really know a lot of this stuff. You know what I mean? It's almost how can I articulate myself? No one really talks about how to be masculine. It's just something you do and you embody and you hope you're doing it right. No one really talks about, even being on a real, how to like be good in the bedroom. You just do it and hope you're doing it good. But it's that real, do you know what I mean? But if you pick up a book right now, you can learn so many things that can boost your knowledge in certain areas of your life now, compared to just being that highly egotistical man, like, oh yeah, I'm doing my thing or I'm doing it right. But how do you know? Do you know what I mean? Because you're doing things right in your small-minded, scarcity-minded 5 things that you're doing, but you don't know that that's 5 out of 650. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But you can learn another 200, and then another book that's going to give you another 80 of those things in this example, if you just picked up a book. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Something I would say though, to like double on your point, like obviously books are important, but at the same time, don't forget about the action. Like you can read a book, you can read the best book in the world, but if you're not applying the information, then you might as well just left the book on your shelf. Do you understand what I mean? Like don't forget to apply what you're reading.
Strong.
What I mean?
And that's why, like, as I was saying just before we kicked off with this episode, the book The Way of the Superior Man, I've read 7 times, and the reason why I've read it seven times is because I don't like to be that guy who, like you said, reads books as accolades. Oh yeah, Rich Dad Poor Dad done, Superior Man done, Power of Now done. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
About it, they can't tell you what
Thank you,
about.
because so many people, in my personal opinion, as I'm networking and meeting new people, they'll be like, yeah, I've read all these books, but if I asked you, cool, you've read 50 books, in this example, tell me 10 lessons that you've been able to learn, study and implement on a consistent basis from each one of them 50 books. There'll be silence. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Because you can read books, but what's your learn to implementation ratio or rate now? Do you know what I'm trying to say? I like that book, Way of the Superior Man. The reason I've read it 7 times, I'm going to read it another 7 is because there's no way. I've read the book 7 times, and I would only say I've been able to actively implement about 30% of the information on a consistent basis. Maybe if I read it another 7, it might go up to 65. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
And I want to talk about one last time in it, because before I get on, because you lot are talking gems in it about, when you're reading it, but I want to make sure that people are getting to stage 1 of actually reading the first in it. And I'm going to come back to what you might say when they were saying about, take it in properly in it and the tricks and that. But one final thing I'm going to say now, is also like, the people that you look up to now, like they know better than you, bro. Like the people that you might see, you might want to be like, they're not better than you. The people whose success you might have, they're not a better person than you, bro. We're all made divine, but we all got our own unique traits in it. What they've done now, is they've learned how to leverage their skills better in it through self-education. I'm saying, like, I think that's in my class today, innit? Some of you are studying degrees like flipping astronomical physics or whatever, innit? But you can't handle your emotions, but you can't manage your money.
What did I say in the last episode? People study everything in the world, but they don't study themselves.
Exactly, you know what I'm saying, bro? So, like, that's my point in terms of, like, you lot are studying the maddest courses that are difficult, but there's things like, managing your money, things like managing your emotions, which might be difficult, I agree, but not as difficult to maybe what you're studying as well, kind of thing. So if you can learn how to flip and build all these mad degrees, work all these late nights for your university or your A-levels now, you can definitely learn how to manage your money, bro. You can definitely learn how to talk to people. You know what I'm saying?
Strong.
You definitely learn how to public speak from it. So it's a thing where, like, what I was saying in terms of the people that have achieved this wealth now, if you read them, like, they didn't even go to university. Rick Ross was, like, what high school dropout. Steve Jobs dropped out of college. Steve Jobs, one of the geniuses of our generation, bro. I read this book, that man was a genius, bro. Dropped out of college, bro. He was a millionaire by the age of 25, but he dropped out of college, bro. So good to show you the people you look up to now, they're not better than you, bro. Like, they're not smarter than you. What they've done now, is they've used their skills as assets, and learn how to maximize them. Whereas you're letting society tell you what you should learn rather than take that ownership now, to learn these skills yourself and get to where these guys are. You know what I'm saying?
Strong. Talk to me about ownership.
Ownership, bro. I think ownership is everything, bro, man. Like, just take the ownership of your own life, innit? Because in the day, like, you are the boss of your life, innit? You are the CEO of your life. We're all CEOs, innit? And you are the CEO of your life, innit? And then it mentioned what Tay said earlier, which I loved, innit? About, like, the reason why ownership is important now, it makes you feel like you got power, fam. The second you start labeling the government or education systems, which aren't perfect, but the reason why you aren't reading or learning or progressing, you're powerless now.
You're not in control.
Because you're putting the government, the schools, in control of why you can't elevate the achieve your dreams, innit? And I'll be real, like, you're gonna die, they'll forget about you, bro. It sounds harsh, but you will, bro. So you can make all these excuses now, but, like, I can't lie, like, you'll pass away and you'll just be forgotten, fam. So you might as well take ownership now in your life now, so that, rather than complaining about things, actually the ownership now to actually acquire the knowledge you wanna see to actually progress, fam.
Strong. To both of you, do you feel like reading is seen as uncool or not popular or trendy?
I feel like it's starting to make a shift now. Because it's mad, because I feel like back in the day where social media wasn't around, like, people aren't really seeing the long-term effects of what people are doing on a day-to-day basis. You get me? But where social media is here now, you can see people reading every day, and you can see the results of what reading's doing for them. Do you understand what I mean? So I feel like there's a switch, but there's still like a connotation to reading as nerdy or long. Do you understand what I mean?
I'm still quit up. As you're talking, I'm there quit up now still because can't lie, man. Like that one there, you set me off still. Can't 100%.
Lie. But even for me, just jumping in quickly, I definitely do agree with what you're saying, my bro. And I feel like when it really comes down to it, you're gonna be working for that person who had who had their head in those books. Do you know what I'm trying to say? You're gonna be working for that quote unquote nerd. So why would you not want to be a nerd? You know what I'm trying to say? And what even is
winning right now, bro,
mums? And what is a nerd? Someone who's trying to seek new knowledge rather than being someone who thinks abundantly to try and acquire new knowledge rather than sticking to what they know to be cool or popular.
That's what I want to take, isn't it? So you mentioned, is it trendy? What Mark says, who cares, bro? Bro, what's trend? Even trendy, it's more time what you shouldn't be doing anyway, bro. Like, let me break it down there. It's a quote here. Whenever you find yourself on the side of the majority, it's time to pause and reflect. Whenever you find yourself on the side of the majority, it is time to pause and reflect, fam.
Strong.
Bro, like, who gives a toss for trendy, bro? Like, look at what's trendy now, flipping, you know, like, womanizing women, or, you know what I'm saying, like, all these girls. Like, the things that are trendy now, are taps, you know what I'm saying? Or, like, things in the media now, of music now. You mentioned Joe earlier about, you know, killing people. Like, bro, what usually what's trendy, is bad, bro. Like, because living in a society now, where negativity is trendy, bro. Flipping the news, all this stuff now, so who gives a toss for trendy or not, bro? The fact that it is trendy, isn't trendy now, shows, that's what you should be jumping on, fam. Trendsetter, my guy's brand, innit?
I'm just about to jump in, like, not to shamelessly plug the brand, but trendsetter, that's what it's all about. I said it in a previous video, it's a mindset. So it's clothing, but it's also a mindset. Being ahead of what's happening right now, seeing future, seeing longevity, seeing what's gonna be trendy in the future. You get what I mean? So I feel like instead of you following trends, be that person to create the trend. Be the first initial person.
I don't want to give it on a practical level as well, and I've never said this for a podcast but I see it all the time, innit? Bro, like, I read a book here called How to Be Rich, innit? And it was written by the richest person in the world in the 1960s, innit? His name was like Jetty or whatever. So I read the whole book, a great book, innit? At the end he spoke about, you know, like achieving wealth, innit? He said the number one thing, that stops you from being wealthy. There's one number one thing that will confirm you will not be wealthy. Like, confirm it, done. Do you know what that is?
What's that?
What
do you think?
That will stop you from being wealthy?
Yeah, like he said, there's one thing that will hands down
others.
confirm. What do you think?
Following other people's blueprint.
He said conformity still.
Yeah, that's.
He said that conformity won't guarantee you wealth, but it will guarantee that you won't get it. Because look at it this way, you talk about the top 5%. That's 5%. The majority is the 95%, innit? So if you look at the majority of people now, they're not financially free, innit? Majority of people are not financially free. Therefore, if you are conforming to the majority, you are literally conforming to the people, who are not financially free, fam, or not happy, kind of thing. So it's a thing where, like, conforming society is a number one way where you won't really get to where you want to get to, fam. Because if you go majority of society unhappy, you know, not living
depressed,
with
addicted to something, whether that's alcohol, drugs, or something.
So, like, battling demons, kind of thing. So, like, the fact that you mentioned, is it trendy, kind of shows you the fact that it isn't trendy kind of might give you an idea of it's actually a good thing. Obviously not all things, but I want to really implement in your mind, conforming will finish you, bro. And you gotta be a trendsetter like my boy's brand, bro, where you gotta have the mindset of, you know, they're doing that now, why are they doing that? Let me pause and reflect. Is that where I want to be? Do I want to be where they are? Or do I want to be with the Bill Gateses who are reading books? Or do I want to be like a man like us, sitting on these podcasts like us who are reading books? So do you want to be with these men who, you know, God bless them, unhappy, whatever, and I pray they heal? Or do you want to be the side of the winners, who are reading books, accountability? So make the choice, innit?